Hey, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Not too bad.
Should I start with my pronouns?
Um, Whatever you'd like to start with.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't owe you disclosure.
Okay.
I think that's what people are saying now.
What uh what topic on the background would you like to discuss?
I guess the middle one.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your position?
My position is people cry about it on the internet, but no one actually does anything, so therefore they don't really deserve it and they don't really care about it.
Okay. What do you think we should do about it?
Well, if you want it, I think people should fight more for it.
More for which side, the pro-life or the pro-choice side?
Whichever side you care about, but people just cry on the internet. Like lots of people make TikToks like this and they claim to care and claim to be very passionate about it, but in reality these people just cry on the internet. It's impotent and it's just, I guess, I don't know, worthless.
Okay. Do you have a plan? I'm trying to have a good conversation with you, but right now all you've been doing is crying on the internet. So,
Yeah,
what
but
is your
I'm not.
plan for us to actually make this situation better? Because I have a plan and I like to share it with as many people as I can because most people seem to ignore it. And I think that people should listen so we can move forward. What is your plan?
Well, to be fair, I'm not very passionate about it. Like I'm, you know,
So what are you doing up here crying about it?
well, I'm not crying about it. I'm just pointing out that you're doing nothing except making a TikTok about it.
No, I told you that I have a different way of how we can move forward, a different idea, and I think that, like you're saying, people are on here just crying between pro-life and pro-choice stance, and I have an idea of how to move forward so we can better all of society as a whole. I want
Oh,
to engage with people about that. You just want to cry about other people. So I don't know what you're doing up here then.
I just like to make fun of other people who really all they do is make TikToks and they don't really fight for their rights.
Okay, and so you just like to laugh at other people while doing the same thing yourself. You hypocrite.
But I'm not the one who's passionate about these rights. Like I'm kind of like a moderate on the issue. I don't really care that much about either side. I mean, I have a preference, but I don't care strongly.
Okay,
Whereas
so
you've made this.
I'm gonna ask you one last time because I do want to engage in good conversation. What is your plan so that we can solve this issue and service all of society as a whole?
So my plan is to push back on people being imported because I feel like if people can't be imported, like replacements can't be brought in, that makes us as Americans more scarce and more
What does this have to
valuable.
do with abortion?
Well, because abortion, like the thing is, rich people are gonna get their way. They're gonna get the workers that they need, and the Democrats accept more immigrants, like to there's more supply via immigration under the Democrats' plan, whereas the Republicans want to ban abortion and just produce the workers locally. But at the end of the day, both sides serve the wealthy. Like it's all about the supply of workers.
So, what exactly is your point here? What is the plan moving forward to better society?
So the point is, both sides are puppets. So the Democrats and Republicans, they're both puppets. They're both serving the super rich. They both have a plan for providing the workers, but I think for benefiting society, really what we need to do is reduce the supply of the foreign workers, right? And so then we as workers, there would be fewer of us, therefore our wages would rise. So wages are the intersection of labor supply and labor demand. So if we can exclude the foreign workers, we'll have higher wages.
Okay, that had nothing to do with abortion. I've tried so hard for us to keep us onto the abortion thing, and it's just not happening. Knuckles, explain to us why it's wrong, if you would like. You don't have to if you don't want to. No, I have no idea what I'm. So my plan moving forward is that I think what we should do is we should both sides, pro-life, pro-choice, whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal. Here's the way that I see it when it comes to the abortion thing. I understand and accept that it is a human life at conception. I have no issue even granting all the way up to full personhood and personhood equal rights to the fetus. The only problem is that we cannot allow, and we don't allow, for one person to use another person's body in a way that that person does not consent to. And to be consistent, that also goes to the fetus. The fetus does not have special rights to use someone else's body in a way that they do not consent to. So, as of right now, the way that happens is that, yes, if the person carrying does not consent to it, the fetus should be removed. That does not mean that we have to let the fetus die. So why do we not pour all of our medical research and study to try to figure out the safest and most humane and best way to remove this fetus so that we respect the bodily rights of the person carrying, but then we can also respect the rights of the individual, the fetus, and implant the fetus into like an artificial womb of some kind, and then vet a family to adopt it once it's ready and fully developed. I don't understand why we have to let abortion equal the termination of the fetus. Sure, Knuckles. I'm just going with I can grant all the way up to the point, and I still think that the pro-life position fails in the sense of forcing someone else to carry. So I think that we should find a way to ensure that we can respect the rights of both individuals. The only problem with the pro-life stance is that if you ensure that you have to force someone to carry, you are literally stomping on the rights of one individual, and you are giving a certain class of people special rights over others. And I think that that is anti-American and a problem. Hey, how you doing?
Alright, how's your day been so far?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. What on the background would you like to talk about?
So I was listening to what you were saying, and I find it a little bit far fetched, but also greatly I suppose humanitarian of you. Um, Yet when it comes to an individual and the rights to the fetus, or the rights to the individual to hold that fetus until it develops into a fully mature child, it's only 9 months. So that in itself it could cause damage to the body and different things like that. But that's a small price to pay for another life being preserved. And
Well,
if you take the stance of an individual being able to give themselves a certain just a balance towards the situation, and saying that, hey, I didn't want this person in my body, and I didn't ask for this person or I didn't ask for this person to be in my body. And if you have a certain reasonability also towards the individual that is in your body, because there are certain things that happen during pregnancy that it, like, people try to say that basically it's a parasite at one point, which is absolutely preposterous. It's an argument that doesn't make any sense due to the fact that there are certain nutrients that are provided to the mother as well, and there are certain things that it's a symbiotic relationship that proves it's a symbiotic relationship. I'm not going to get into detail about it, but there are certain ethical things about it also that shows that it's a symbiotic relationship as well. Yet when you have something in your body and you're just going to wait 9 months, and it could cause complications and different things like that, but the aspect of that happening is very rare. It doesn't happen very often. But the whole thing about it is that I feel like people should have the right to terminate a pregnancy if they would like to, but if you're going to make that decision, you shouldn't rely on other people to shoulder your burden because of the aspect of you not wanting the child. And if you do want the child, then there should be provisions put in place for the child to be taken care of if there is a time that they should be delivered and, put into a system so that they can be taken care of in a certain type of way. And in regards to the individual that is carrying the child, if they are to terminate the child, and like in Georgia, they end up, not being able to remove the matter that is, after they take a pill and they accumulated this matter inside of their womb and they're not able to remove it, that's a consequence that you have to face because of your decision to terminate a life. And I totally agree with that. It's like murder in a way. So it's like if you it's eye for an eye, basically. And if you allow yourself to be put in that position in the first place, like some people are great. And so because of that happening, it's like this is something that you didn't want forced on you, but ultimately, if you just gave it a little time and just waited it out, you might end up coming to a certain resolution to where you might want the child, or even that you respect life to a certain degree to understand that there are certain things that this child it's like a workout, basically, and in a lot of different aspects, it's like a workout. And you can look at it from a positive perspective or a negative perspective, but don't look to other people to support what it is that you're doing just because you allow yourself to be put in that position, because everybody knows that if you go down to the hood or you go in certain environments, then you're putting yourself in danger of being put in certain situations. If you're in a suburb, it's less likely the statistical elements of you becoming great is less statistically, factors are not there as much as being in a certain other area that it would cause certain problems with you ending up in those situations. So we're not ignorant to the fact that these things happen, yet we also know that people are ignorant to what happens in their own lives and not taking responsibility for the individual situations that they put themselves in. And that's really all I have to say about the subject as far as, the carrying of the child or the aborting of the child.
Okay. Um, Thank you for that. You said a lot, by the way. I'm gonna try to address as much as I can. I jotted down some notes, but so you started off by saying, it's just 9 months. It's not that long of a time. 9 months is a long time, man. And especially when you're talking about, yeah, sure, there could be some complications. Every single pregnancy carries risks of complications, and some of them can be up to lifelong complications. It's not like, oh, 9 months you're perfectly fit and healthy again. They could last the rest of your life. One of the most common ones being diabetes, which can be fatal. So yes, that can all lead to your life maybe taking a hit, and always being in danger of taking that hit. I don't know what you mean about other people shouldering your burden for getting an abortion. I would think the opposite when you're talking about that provisions should be put in place so that, if you choose to have the child, that child is taken care of. I understand and I agree that provisions should be put in place to assist with child care and medical needs and all that stuff. But I feel like that is asking other people to shoulder the burden of, hey, I can't afford to
No,
take
but
care of
hold
this
on.
child. Wait, hold on. I let you speak.
Live in
Let me
America.
address all your points, sir. Let me address all your points. So I would say that is asking other people to shoulder the burden with you because you chose to have this child. I also don't understand how just because there's some kind of complication where where an abortion would cause a woman to not be able to have children again, that's an eye for an eye. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand what you mean by, some women were raped, but just wait it out. It's like a workout. It's not at all what that is. Rape is something that psychologically affects the person for the rest of their lives. It is something that gives multiple victims PTSD. It's something that they'll struggle with forever, and it is up to that individual to decide whether or not that pregnancy is something that they can handle, because it is not just a workout. It is something that is affecting them to the very core of their identity and who they are.
Good.
I also think that it's wild that you are blaming them for being in the wrong place, wrong time, bad neighborhoods, when we know that
That's
one in
not what I
five
said.
women, hold on, I'm almost done. 1 in 5 women are assaulted before they're even adults. That means that they are attacked by older men, more specifically men than are women, but adults are taking advantage of children. And so I think it's wild that you're blaming children for being in the bad neighborhoods, for being in the wrong place, the wrong time. Because we know that a lot of them were their parents, were their uncles, were their brothers, were their family friends, were people that they knew, their teachers, their people at church. These are the people that that have assaulted these young women, and and for a lot of women, it happens more than once in their lifetime. So I think that it's wild that you are trying to blame the victim for being assaulted in that kind of manner.
That's
I
not what
also
I
think
did.
and then my last point, because this was your last point, I think that abortion can be very responsible. Not in every case, but if you are unable to take care of this child, or there is an issue or complication, and again, only you have the ability to make that well-informed decision, you and your doctor, no one else can, then you should do the responsible thing and terminate. It can
Okay.
be a responsible thing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All those points are very valid, and they do make a lot of sense. My understanding in what you're saying is that you're saying that I basically am blaming the person, but that's not what's actually happening. I just believe that if there is a provision that is made, and there are a lot of states that do provide the provision for you to get an abortion. So I do think that it is in certain cases responsible, but I do not think it is responsible based off of the fact that you cannot take care of the child, because there are provisions that are in place for you to be able to hand that child over to certain services so that the child can be taken care
Well,
of.
not everyone has access to that.
Well, that's neither here nor there, because they're third world countries and
Well,
stuff like that.
no. Even here in the United States, I think that's very important to acknowledge that some women do not have the choice or access to that.
Yeah, and some people don't even have access to even figuring out how to get to the clinic. So we can go back and forth about that all day. But
Yeah,
the
don't you think that every single woman in this position should have access to all their choices?
No, I think that they should have access to their choices, but
Okay, great.
not when it comes to, see, because what you're saying, shouldering the responsibility of putting it on other people. We live in America. We have a certain system that's set in place, and the system that is set in place is not really based. People do not actually, according to federal law, they don't have to pay their taxes. They don't have to do anything that has to do with shouldering the responsibility of people as far as the tax system is concerned and being taxed for other people's decision-making processes. So we have that as a provision for people who want to opt out of the system that's been set in place, because America is a corporation. It is not a republic any longer. It's considered a corporation underneath a republic. So when you have certain aspects of thinking and certain aspects of approaching the situation that are not getting to the root of the understanding and comprehension, because not many people have a certain level of comprehension when it comes to the truth, or they just haven't been informed. So it is, in a certain aspect, not the responsibility of other people to shoulder the responsibility of somebody who ends up in a situation that their parents might have put them in, that other family members might have put them in. It's then not their responsibility. But I believe it is their responsibility if they would like to be considered an American citizen or an American national individual who would like to be a part of the system that's been set in place, so that people can receive those measures of help when it comes to the culture that has been built on American society. So as for people who have been raped and put in those situations and have those certain ways of, impact in their lives, psychologically, emotionally, physically, it is certain aspects that are not available to them because they don't live in America, because they don't have certain, and we're talking about things that this is a Chinese platform, but it's in America. And we have an ability to reason on these things according to our language. We're not speaking some foreign language about what we're talking about. We're speaking English. And so when it comes to our approach with this situation, it's like there's a woman who got an abortion. And when she got the abortion, she took a pill. And when she took that pill, she ended up with the child's matter still left inside of her womb. and the procedure was not allowed in the Georgian state. It was not allowed. So she ended up dying from that matter, getting an infection and dying from the matter being in her stomach. That was the decision that she decided to make instead of going through with the pregnancy. And
No, don't you think that she should have had access to go to receive medical help?
I don't, because the majority say that
Why
they
not?
would, because the majority said that if a woman should become pregnant and she became pregnant, there would not be a provision accessible for her in that state. She could have left to another state.
But there should be.
No, there shouldn't be, because the majority said that they did not want that in their state
That
because it's governed state by state.
that's wonderful. Don't you think that there should be a federal issue that women should be able to get equal health care?
No, I don't. I don't think that it should be something that should be allowed. I think that when it comes to the liberalism in regards to the individual having access to those different things, they should have made certain decisions before it got to that level, and made certain informed decisions. And I'm pretty sure that she didn't have those aspects of thinking going through her mind at the time, and she probably took the pill not knowing that these are complications that come along with it, or they probably did explain it to her when she took the pill, when she signed the waivers and did whatever that she did. Those are aspects of life experience that befalls us all. We all have to deal with certain aspects of experience as the individuals who are impacted on certain levels in our decision-making processes. And we should not have the shoulder of the responsibility be on doctors, lawyers, other people. We need to educate ourselves in order to have safe measures of sexual contact, and we have to be able to give ourselves a certain aspect of thinking ability before we get ourselves into those situations, and not have the shoulder of responsibility fall on any other individual because of an act that we perform that is very simple but becomes something that is very complex. You see,
I
they want
I
to take
agree. I agree
very
with you
simple
that
and
we
make it
should
even more
educate
complex
people on
by taking a
sexual
life.
education.
You see, because they're taking a life from an individual, and that's not something to just say nothing about and just say, oh, it was a parasite or different things. They're taking a life. This is an individual that could have become a doctor, that could have become a lawyer, that could have made the decision to vote in a certain type of way to lead people to have the decision to make the ideology or the feelings, opinions, thoughts, reasonings to say, I want women to have their ability to have
Sure,
this.
and it could also end up being the opposite. So it really doesn't matter what if. We should go to what is happening. You're saying that because people engage in an activity and someone makes a decision that they should be responsible for the aftermath and that we should educate people so that they can make the right decisions for themselves.
And
I
that
agree with
ultimately
you
is what
that we
I'm
should
saying.
educate people so that they can make the right informed decision for themselves. But if something goes wrong, I think that they should have access to go to a doctor and seek medical attention. And I think that's what doctors are for. It's not them shouldering the burden or the responsibility. It's them doing their damn job. And the issue is that with the logic that you're having, we're saying the same thing of if two people engage in a consensual act and end up with an STD, that's that too bad, man. If the majority of the state is like, I don't want to pay for that, whatever medication for somebody else, then okay. If majority of the state decides that, are you really saying that if you end up with an STD, you cannot go to the doctor for it?
Well, honestly, I feel as though those are the shoulders of responsibility that an individual has brought upon themselves. And I'm not saying that because I'm
Yes,
not.
and the responsible thing to do is to go to the doctor.
Yes, I know that the responsible thing is to go to the doctor,
So
but
then why
also
are
the
you trying to
responsibility.
restrict health access to certain
Because
people
hold
in
on,
certain situations?
there's multiple access with what we're talking about. You can have an
I
individual
want
that
to
can go to
respond
the
to that
doctor
too.
and you can have an individual that can go to the doctor and get their medical attention, but you also can use herbal remedies and different things like that to heal your problem. It's multiple aspects and multiple pathways in order to figure out what it is that needs to be figured out. So education is key. So when it comes
I want to
to
respond right quick. So I just wanted to say, really simply, if a person gets an STD, that's their own fault, and other people shouldn't have to pay for that. So if a person gets an STD, yeah, sure, go to the doctor and pay for the doctor visit yourself.
But you
yes,
don't
and
think any type of like insurance or assistance that they're on to help them with medical stuff, you don't think that should qualify?
not as if it qualifies or if the requirements for the specific insurance would be government incentives fueled by the citizens' tax dollars, then no.
Would that be across the board, or would you say that that's like rape
Just
and stuff like
completely
that is an
across the board.
exception?
For men and women, just completely about across the board.
No, I'm talking about in like
If it
situations
has to
like
do
rape.
with the STD,
No,
oh
no, I'm
well,
talking
so
about I'm talking about like if someone rapes
so hold
somebody,
on,
do you
wait,
think
wait,
that
hold
they
on,
should get an
wait,
STD?
hold on. So hold on. So with the specifics of STDs in general, when it comes to something like SA, which you can't say the R word on TikTok, and or you can't say the SEX where you have to say SMEX or something, similarly not direct to those specific words. Those are like against community guidelines.
Okay,
Um,
so
but when
in
it
the
comes
in
to
those
like
cases, is it
SA,
still across the board?
that's different. When it
Okay,
comes to
so
something
not
like
across the
SA,
board.
that's different. I believe
So
that's
not across the
the
board.
That's
well,
exactly
You
why.
do
yeah,
think
for
that some
no
people
for
should have access?
STDs.
My yeah, but the question
STDs
is,
is an individual thing. You're adding
no,
a
no,
quantifier when you also
messenger.
add SA.
Sorry, messenger. Let me clarify my question. My question is should anyone have access to STD treatment? And the question the whole question being is like other people saying, hey, I don't want to pay for STD treatment of other people, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. But if that was the way that that a state decided majority, would that be across the board? You said yes, but across the board means that if you go to the hospital and say I was a victim of SA, then they would not be able to receive STD treatments.
Yeah,
Because
in
so
that
But
aspect, I
you're
think
adding a
they should.
quantifier. That's not specifically pertaining to STDs solely. That's a quantifier. That's also including SA. But we were
Yeah,
talking about
I think that they should
consensual.
be asking pertinent questions. I think that they need to be asking,
I'm
"Are
just
you
talking about people wanting STD treatments.
Yes,
We're
but
saying that
you can't say
people.
people wanting STD treatments and then add SA. That becomes a completely different subject. If we're
No,
talking about STDs,
we're saying that it's not across the
consensual.
board that people can't receive STD treatments. You're saying most people should not have STD treatments on other people's dimes except for victims of SA. So
So I'm saying,
that's the clarification.
that
Am I correct?
no one should have STD. I'll detail specifically what I'm saying. I'm saying no one should have STD treatments covered by insurance when it comes to consensual sex, SMEX.
yeah, but are you taking legal
Okay,
action?"
so we've been saying the same thing. I'm glad that we finally clarified.
So when it
So
comes,
Daniel, Messenger and I had a slight exchange earlier. We wanted to chat about, I believe, how we know God is real or not. If you'd like to stick around for that conversation, you're more than welcome to. But Messenger, I did want to, respect that we did assign a time for this.
Yeah, schedule it.
Glad to see you on, by the way.
Yeah, you
But
too, you too.
yeah, so I'm wondering how long have you been a Christian? A Christian, right?
Yeah, I've been Christian for most of my life.
Okay, cool. Do you have like a certain denomination, or are you like a non-denominational
Nah,
Catholic?
I used to be, I used to go to like a specific church that was a denomination, but I never really like classified myself as anything other than Christian.
Okay, sure, for sure. So I guess my question is, how do you know that your belief is true?
So when we look at the truth has to be something universally true. Like there's no such thing as it being true for one person and not true for somebody else. If it's true, it's true. The truth nowadays, we have this perspective of truth amongst society that it could be true for somebody and not true for somebody else. As in my truth. Truth can't be personified like that. It can't be claimed privilege to in that sense. Truth is an individual thing, just like the whole LGBT thing. Like that's an individual thing aside from the fact that there are other things going on. Say, for instance, if you want to quantify SA. But going back to what we're talking about, truth doesn't have quantifiers. Truth is just the truth. It's just absolutely true or it's just absolutely false. And a lot of people like to live in a gray area. The reason why I know God is true, the several reasons why is because reality is set up based in truth. There's no such thing as falsehood when it comes to like the the elements of reality itself. There's no that like there's it's absolutely impossible to find a lie in the fabric of reality as we know it itself. All things that we see and or perceive present themselves as exactly what they are. I look at that and I develop an understanding of what the truth is. There's something that I can interact with that I cannot change unless I directly change it. And then it becomes something else. But it still has an understanding of truth. So say, for instance, if I take a color, blue, it's a crayon. It's not going to be an orange for somebody else. It's going to be blue for everyone. If I take that crayon, I can interact with it
unless
in
the
the
person
true
is
ways that it
colorblind, right?
interacts with the society.
A
Well,
person can be
colorblind
colorblind,
is
right?
an exception.
So
That's
so
another
so
quantifier, though.
yeah, but we
That's
would
another
say that it is
quantifier to the
true
situation.
for that person that it is not orange.
No, we wouldn't say. We would say that they have a defect to where as they cannot perceive reality.
No, I understand that
So
we would
that's
say
that's
that
not
the
an
objective
excuse for the
truth is
truth.
that they have a defect that
There's an
messes with their
objective truth,
perception.
and they
But
cannot
but we could
possibly
also say
interact
that
with
it
it.
is true based on their perception that they are
No,
seeing
then that
orange.
would no, then that would no. That's not how that works. Then we would have to acknowledge if we want to do it in truth, we would have to acknowledge that they have a defect that prevents them from understanding the truth that's being presented.
No,
That's
no,
the
you
only
can
way that it would be true.
no.
Because it's not true.
So
It's not true that a person's the colors don't change based off of a person's color blindness.
I
The
understand
colors
that.
stay the same. You cannot perceive them. So the colors are true. Their color blindness creates a falsehood and or a defect
No, I
in
agree.
perception alone. It doesn't affect the color.
So Messenger, if we had a colorblind person in front of us right now and we were looking at something that was blue and they said it was green, and they understood
Then
that
we
they
would
were
tell them they were
colorblind.
wrong.
No, I understand.
Then we
But
would tell them that they are wrong.
Messenger, please, that's not my question. And so they said it was green. They understood they were colorblind. They understood that it was actually green. But when they said, but if they say to us, when I look at this, I see green. I know it's not green, but when I look at it, I see green. Is that a true statement?
Okay. No.
So they're lying about the color they see?
Well, how could they
Yes.
perceive it as being green if they haven't ever really seen green and it's actually blue? You see,
Exactly.
it doesn't
See,
really.
now we get to a deeper understanding of what the truth presents. Just because you perceive something a certain way doesn't mean that it's true for you. That's
No,
not how the truth works.
no, I understand. I'm not saying that it magically changed colors.
Yes, but that's what you're indirectly stating.
That's not what I'm indirectly stating.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. That's what that person is indirectly stating. So what they need
It's a
to
true
acknowledge,
statement if they
so
say
put it
that
like
that's
this:
what I
if
see, but
between
it's not
us, if
true that it
between
is
you and
green.
I, between you and I, if we come to an understanding of the fact that this specific color is blue, if they see green, the only truth that will remain is once they admit that they cannot see the color properly. That's it. There is no alteration of perception to allow
Yeah,
for things to be things
I'm
that they
not
are not.
debating that. That's
It's how
not
do
at
you
all my point.
describe the color green? If you describe in the color green as having a certain hue and you can't actually see it, but you're describing it to that person, it's not something that can be described without actually seeing the color green. So
You know
if a
what?
person
Maybe this example will be a little bit more clarifying. I agree with you that there is the objective truth, but I think that there are some situations where you could say that there is a quote unquote my truth. Certain situations, like think of a breakup, it's a very common thing. He feels that he was betrayed and that this came out of nowhere. She feels that she has tried to broach the subject several times. Has it's been months of her trying to say, hey, we're not doing well, please let's try to make our relationship better and stuff like that. They both have a quote unquote my truth, but we know the objective truth is there were just some issues that they couldn't work with together, and the relationship fell apart. It's a fact of life. It happens. That's the objective truth. They'll both move on
This is
in
how
their
I
own
would
time.
correct that. That's
But
not an objective truth.
but if
This
both
is
of
how
them
I would
say,
correct that.
wait, I'm almost done. But if she says, I feel hurt, and he says, I feel betrayed, both of them are stating a truth. They feel a certain emotion. that has nothing to do with the objective truth of the fact of this relationship just failed.
So your problem is that you're applying the word truth or true incorrectly. You want to state just because of a person's experience a thing is true. A person can experience something false. You're not acknowledging that. You're not
I
acknowledging
completely acknowledge that.
the difference between but what you're doing with your words is you're not.
Exactly.
What
What
I'm
you're
saying
stating
is that if someone
is
says I
somewhat
feel
contradictory.
X, if someone says I feel
Yes, a
X,
feeling
that can be a
because
true
somebody did something
statement,
does not equate.
and that has nothing to do with the
Not at
objective
all.
truth of the
No, not
situation.
at all.
No, he's not
Not at
applying
all.
a specific
Not at all. Not
what
at all. Because I can say right now I feel mad, and that was a lie. So I'm not mad. We're just having a regular conversation. So people, they tend to either
Of course,
tell
you
the
can lie
truth
about
or
your
they tend to lie.
emotions. That's
Yes,
that has
perfect. So
nothing.
that
Yes,
means
but
that
that's not the
either we
point that I'm
have to
bringing
look
up here.
at an objective truth. I get what you're bringing up. I completely understand what you're bringing up, and I'm saying, hey, no, there's something that trumps that. Something that at a greater expanse and or at a greater expense, there's something bigger, broader, and more valuable there to be
Okay.
seen. And that is the objective truth.
No,
When we talk
I
about the
agree
truth,
with
we have to
that.
make sure that it's
I
absolutely
think if
true.
you truly understood what I was saying, you would understand we're saying the same thing.
No, you're not saying the same.
No, not at all.
We really
Not at
are.
all.
And so to go with your
No,
thing about
no,
why you
not,
believe
and
that God is
that is
real, and you
the
say that
untruth. That
you
is the
see the
untruth
reality
that you would try and say is
based
true.
in truth,
That was
the
the
elements
untruth
of
literally right
reality,
there
and
that
that
you
you
were trying to
cannot
say is
see
true.
a lie in the
Because
fragments of reality. These are all perceptions. These are all the way that you see things. These are all your truth. So I'm wondering, how do we know that
No,
your belief is
that's
actually
not
the
how life
truth?
works.
yeah, but
That's not how life
what is
works.
the objective truth that we can present to say Christianity is the truth?
it's not saying
The objective
Christianity.
truth is that we are alive right now. We have life. We will die one day. The reason why we have life and even understand death is because of a creator. We are a creation. There is no such thing as nothing, something coming from nothing. Something always has to come from something else. Cause and effect. Action, reaction. Choice, consequence.
I don't
Cause,
know how us being
effect.
alive and us dying have anything to do with the Christian God being true. I also don't know how you can say that we
So
are
as a
creation. Can
life
you?
form, us as
Oh,
a life
wait,
form,
hold
we're
on, hold on.
also
I want to
creation.
address your points. You made three, and before we get to jumbled, I'd just like to address them. So life and
Okay.
death. How does that show that the Christian God is true? Creator, creation. Can you demonstrate that we are a creation? Because I don't know how you came to that conclusion. And then something from nothing. I don't know anyone who makes this claim except for people who believe in God and think that God magicked the world and the universe from nothing.
Well,
Because
it's not
I don't
magic.
say that.
So the reason why it's not magic is because magic is a concept of man. Before magic existed, we had an understanding of the concept of spirit, things that did exist that we aren't necessarily able to physically see. When it comes to nothing coming from something coming from nothing, that's not ever a presently observable action in the history of mankind itself. So that is one of the direct
But who is
reasons that
claiming that except for Christians? Christians are the
you
ones
all
that say
claim
that God spoke
no
it and then magically
no
it poof into existence.
no you all claim that something came from nothing.
I don't
Called the
claim that
Big Bang
something
Theory.
came from nothing.
So you don't adhere to science. You don't adhere to the Big Bang.
So, the Big Bang does not say that something came from nothing.
Yes,
You
it
clearly
literally
don't know
says
what the Big
something
Bang
came from
is.
nothing. So
No.
it says that nothing existed, and all of a sudden, at one specific point in time, that a specific point exploded, for lack of better words, and expanded,
Yeah,
and all
everything you
things
just said
came
was
into existence.
incorrect. So the
No,
Big
it's
Bang
not.
Theory, the Big Bang
Literally, the
Theory
concept of
is
the
the
Big Bang Theory.
description of a single point in time that describes the
Yes,
expansion of the universe from a singular point.
yes.
It does not state
So
anything.
we
Hold
look
on,
at a
Messenger.
single point in
It
time.
does not state anything.
Hold on.
Messenger,
Look at
let me
what you just
finish.
said. Look at
It
what you
does
just
not
said.
state
Let's
anything
go by what
about
you
what
just said,
happened
really
before the
quickly.
Big Bang. It
Let's
doesn't
go
say
by what
anything
you just
about what
said,
happened
really
before the Big
quickly.
Bang.
You said that. Let's go by what you just said. It's stated a
But
single
wait,
point in
wait,
time, which is
are you
what I
going to
said
address all
prior.
of what I said, or are you going to cherry pick what I said?
I'm gonna address one specific point.
So
You
you're going to
said
cherry pick, okay.
exactly what I said. So hold on. You said exactly what I just said,
No, I did not.
right? And then said, yeah, yes, you did. I said a single point in time before you said it.
Yeah, but the
I
way
said
that
that.
you're
So
saying
maybe
it,
you weren't paying attention.
but the way that you're saying it is that nothing existed, and then boom, there was an explosion,
Yes,
and then stuff
because that's
existed. That's
literally
not what the
what
Big
the
Bang
theory
Theory
itself
states, and that is
entails.
not what I said. Hi, Ungodly.
The theory. So let's look up the theory right now on Google and ask anyone, any scientist, if there was something before the Big Bang, and they will not be able to give you a conclusive answer.
Because we don't know, and no one says that
Exactly.
nothing
Exactly.
existed.
You don't
No,
know. You don't
exactly.
know.
Nothing and
I
I don't
do.
know are two different things.
I
Okay, all
do.
right,
You
perfect,
don't
perfect.
know.
All right, you said
You
you
go
do.
by
You
a
said
theory
you
of
do.
unknowing.
Demonstrate that you do. Demonstrate the truth of your claim.
So I'll use the proof of my statements derived from the principles
Present
of
the
reasoning.
evidence of your
So
claim that you
hold
know
on.
what
So
existed
so
before the
here's
Big
here's
Bang.
two things. Here's two things that I know that you're ignorant of: the definition of proof and the definition of evidence. You don't know those words. You don't know
You're
those
you're
words.
you're
You
ignorant
use
of the
them.
Big Bang, but somehow you're gonna
You're
explain it to
using.
me.
No, I'm
Okay.
not actually ignorant of the Big Bang. I explained to you what the Big Bang was,
You
and
literally got the
You did
Big
not.
Bang wrong,
you
almost
literally.
word for word. You
So
literally got it
so
wrong.
hold
We're
on,
all
hold
Okay,
on,
sitting here laughing
everyone,
at you
real quick.
hold
because
on,
By the
you're
way,
straw manning everybody.
hold on, Katie, hold on. So you
by the way,
literally
yes.
stated
No,
several
hold on, real
words. Go
quick.
ahead.
By the way, no more guests. This is going to be the max panel. That way, no one gets real too over talkative. No more guests. All right, go ahead.
So you literally stated several words, not just one, not just two, but several words that I had stated when I explained the context of the Big Bang right after I explained it.
You
You
realize the
said
order
no
of
and
the
then said
words
it almost
matters,
the
and
same
you
exact
added
thing.
extra
That's
words.
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Messenger,
No, it
you
changes. It
smuggled
changes
one
things
in.
so much.
You
Katie,
smuggled one in
Katie,
dishonestly. You smuggled in
Katie,
the concept of
Katie,
nothing,
Katie,
which
and
is
we're having a
dishonest.
conversation. We scheduled this conversation. I don't even know why he allowed you to come up. So when I looked
Because
at
Kadian can
what the
help
Big
us with the
Bang theory was,
definitions.
he's not gonna help. He's not gonna help. So I looked up so I explained the context of the Big Bang,
Hmm.
and it indirectly states, it doesn't directly state because you all have no clue what happened before it. It indirectly states this, that there was nothing, and then all of a sudden there was something.
Nope.
No,
They don't
already
give
No.
you
wrong.
the
You're already
understanding
wrong.
for, so they don't give you the understanding for the point in time's creation. They don't give
It
you the
does
understanding for anything
Not
prior to
making
the Big
that
because it
Bang.
claim,
doesn't claim
Messenger.
that.
Yes,
It doesn't
exactly.
claim
It
that.
doesn't have the ability to. That's the point. It
Because
doesn't.
it's not trying to.
It,
Are you even like
that's the point.
engaging with this?
That's the point. No, I'm engaging, but what you're not realizing is you're
You're
saying
not though. You're shoveling
nothing.
in all this
No, no,
extra
no.
stuff and
You're
being
saying
dishonest right now.
nothing existed and then something existed.
That's not what
You
the Big Bang
explain
is
what
saying.
before nothing. That's
That's
what
not
you're
what the
saying.
Big Bang is saying. Stop
That
straw manning it.
literally is what the Big Bang is saying.
It
It's
is
saying
not.
nothing existed
It's
and then something
really
existed.
not.
If you're not
It's just
smart enough
adding
to
this in
So
because you
the
don't want to
Big
have to
Bang,
engage with it.
so,
the
but
Big
going
Bang
back
is
to
describing
the
one specific thing.
explanation,
So the Big Bang is describing one single point in time, and that is the
yes. How
expansion
did that
of
single
the
point in time happen?
universe. It
So
is
then
describing
my
the
question was,
expansion of the
so you
universe.
can
Hold on,
understand
Messenger,
exactly what you're
please.
lacking.
Messenger, please.
We already
It
went over
makes
that. We
no
don't need that. We
claims.
don't need
It
that.
makes no
We
claims
don't
about what
need
happened
that. Let's
before the Big
progress. Let's
Bang.
progress.
It makes
Let's
no
progress. We don't
claims
need that.
of
You said
what
that already.
caused the Big Bang.
You said that already. You said that already. So then my question
So
would
then
be,
why are
what
you
happened?
ignoring that and
So
saying
then
that it says
I'm not ignoring
nothing,
that. Let's
boom,
acknowledge it.
something?
Let's acknowledge it. Let's acknowledge it and see where the holes in your theory are. What happened before the Big Bang?
I don't know.
You don't know.
The Big Bang Theory
You
doesn't
don't
state
know. So
anything
hold on.
about it.
This is my point. Hold on. This is my point. You do not know.
Okay. Do you
I
know?
know for a fact that one, the Big Bang didn't happen. It's a
Okay.
made up theory.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Hey, preacher,
Hold
sorry. I can't engage with someone who's actually just objectively stupid.
on. Okay, so leave.
Thank you for your
Excuse
time,
yourself.
though. Appreciate it.
Take care. So One,
Daniel,
the
I am going to
Big Bang.
finish the conversation off with Messenger. I appreciate you for your time, though.
All right, man. Thanks.
Take care. So
So
one.
you said one, the Big
So
Bang didn't
hold
happen,
on.
correct?
Yeah, one, the Big Bang is not a thing. It's
Okay.
an explanation that gives no complete understanding. It's just a theory. And two, no one was there to witness the Big Bang. Not a single soul. Nobody ever. And people just widely go with the theory. It's like uncannily broadly accepted amongst the scientific community, even though not one single person was physically present to witness the Big Bang. And the only proof that they say that they have is that we're currently still witnessing the effects of said theory. That the universe is still expanding and we're witnessing right now. So that must be proof that one specific point happened in time that was the initial cause of the expansion of the universe. That's it. And you all don't realize how thick with holes that plot is. It's so thick with holes that it makes me wonder, why the hell would you take a half-cocked explanation as towards an entire explanation that God, an ultimate being, an ultimate creator, existed to cause creation itself? It makes no sense to me. I understand the concept. I get it. I completely get it. I could still man it even if I wanted to, but I choose not to because it's a lie. And that's where we get back to truth. We get back to the fact that there is a such thing as an objective truth that is fully present and observable in life on a constant basis. If you decide to try and warp reality to fit your perception based off of what you feel and how you think, it'll be tough for you to even ever live in the future, accepting the fact that there are objective things that you cannot change nor alter regardless of your interaction with it. God is real. And I use my statement, my existence, my statements, my testimony, the things that I say as proof, which is a part of the definition, which that's why I was like, hey, you don't even know the definition of evidence and or proof. Because if you did, you wouldn't be running around here saying that there was none. We can look up the definition so I can steel
Yeah,
man that too.
evidence is things that get data and facts that are used to prop up the truth of a certain point, and then proof is when things have actually been is what is the collective evidence body that is shown to prove a thing true.
No,
Yeah,
that was horrible.
yeah.
That's horrible.
Evidence is the
Let's look up the
individual pieces
definition
of
of proof.
data that show a position to be true. Proof is when all that has already been collected and has actually been shown to be true.
Nowhere near either one of those definitions. And I'd suggest you look at the
Oh,
Oxford's because I'm going
okay.
to pull
Well,
up
then
Mary.
you are clearly wrong. But
No, I'm
but
not.
you've said a
Just look
lot,
up
and I would like a chance to respond. Mostly, I think the biggest question would be God, the creator, creation. This is the objective truth. Great. Can you present any evidence to show that that is actually a true statement?
So before I present evidence, I'm going to present the definition of evidence.
Okay.
So hold on, let me go to the definition of evidence, and then I'm going to go to the definition of proof. Because a lot of people use that word, use both of those words, several of those. They say proof, prove, and evidence, and have no clue what the definition of them is. That's just like language in general. A lot of people say stuff and they don't even know what they're saying. So here's the definition according to Merriam-Webster. If you all want to look up the Oxford, it's going to be pretty similar.
I thought you wanted
Evidence.
Oxford. Go to Oxford.
Yeah, you can go to the Oxford. I don't have the Oxford on my phone. I was
You don't
saying you
have
can go to the
Oxford
Oxford
on
because
your
some
phone?
people.
Do you not have
Yeah, no, I
normal
have
internet
Merriam-Webster.
access, or do you just have like an app? Are you using an app?
That would take a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm using the app. I'm using the dictionary app.
Uh-huh.
It's a little bit
Okay.
more convenient than going to Google. So this is the Merriam-Webster's definition of evidence. An outward sign equals indication for 1A. 1B is something that furnishes proof, testimony. Specifically, something legally submitted to a tribunal to ascertain the truth of a matter. 2 is one who bears witness, especially one who voluntarily confesses a crime and testifies for the prosecution against one's accomplices. In evidence to be seen, conspicuous as evidence. The part speech of verb is transitive verb to offer evidence. So this is the definition of evidence. Any outward sign, any indication of a specific thing is evidence towards said specific thing. Something that furnishes proof, testimony. Now I'm going to go back to the definition of proof. Proof. The cogencies is 1A of evidence, right? There's evidence. We see that they are intersectional, but a lot of people don't know how. It says the cogency of evidence, the cogency of what? An indication, something stated, that compels acceptance by the mind of a truth or a fact. The process or an instance of establishing the validity of a statement, especially by derivation from other statements in accordance with the principles of reasoning. So as
this is
simple
basically
as that is.
Yes, this is the dumbest way to say what I said. Go to the Oxford. Look up the Oxford. We'll keep talking while
No,
it takes time to
that's
do
not
it.
the dumbest way to say what you said.
That is the dumbest way to word
What you
what
said,
I
I'll still
said.
ban what you said. You said evidence, and then you said proof is collected evidence. You gave a definition of evidence as saying basically proof, and then you said proof is basically a collection of evidence.
I said
Those
proof is
two
the
things were
proof
not
is.
true.
I said proof is the collection of all that evidence that convinces the truth of the statement or the claim being made, which is basically what that thing just said. So, and I said that evidence is the
You said that.
and I said
Now, but you didn't say
evidence
that
is the
before.
individual facts and data that is collected to show the truth of a proposition or a claim. Go to the Oxford.
Again, that wasn't anything having to do with those two definitions that I just read.
All right. So, again, can
So,
you show
but
the evidence
the
that God
proof
is real and
in the
God is a
statement.
creator, that is the objective truth?
So an outward sign is evidence. The proof is in the statements. So I provide derivation of statements. I use my reasoning, and reasoning that you also have to agree with. The fact that it's impossible for us to come from nothing. It's absolutely impossible. It has never been present in the history of mankind or before it that something comes from nothing. That is a statement that is absolutely 100% objectively true. There's no way to prove anything otherwise. It's not even possible to empirically prove
Cool.
that
How does that get us to the
something
Christian God
comes
made
from
us?
nothing. That gets us to the fact that we exist. That means we came from something, somehow, some way. We didn't come from nothing. So we can't use the half-baked theory of the Big Bang because it doesn't explain the something
Yeah, the Big
that we
Bang
came
doesn't
from.
even that's not what the Big Bang is trying to do. So this is you continuing
Exactly.
to bring up the Big
Since
Bang
it's not
theory
trying to
in
explain
this
the something,
situation just shows that you
if
don't know what
it's
you're
not
talking
trying to
about.
explain something, no, I know what I'm talking about. Listen to this. If it does not explain the something that we came from, being that something cannot come from nothing, then that means it is incorrect.
It's not
That's
trying
simple
to.
enough
It's
to
not
understand.
saying that that something came
That's the
from nothing.
problem. It's not trying to. So if it's not trying to explain the something that we come from,
That's a different
then it's
question.
incorrect.
You're
No, it's not a different
you're mad
question.
at A because it's not answering Z. I'm so sorry. That is a completely different thing.
I'm not
Go
mad.
figure out
I'm not
Z.
mad. I'm saying A as pertaining to what you perceive is incorrect. The color is not orange. It's blue. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about you not understanding what the Big Bang theory is, and you still
No,
aren't
no, I
presenting the
understand what the
evidence
Big
that
Bang
the
Theory
Christian
is.
God is real.
But you're not seeing the evidence being presented because you have a personal perception. You're like
No, okay.
colorblind to evidence.
So you and I are. I will grant you everything up to this point. Okay, so people exist, this world exists, the universe exists. Let's say
Yes.
that
Then something caused it.
that something needed to
That
cause
is the present effect.
whether the Big
That means
Bang or
something,
whatever the case is, we don't know.
not the
We're
Big Bang.
here. How did we get here?
I did.
You made the claim,
We got
Christian
here
God.
through God.
Now
Yes.
please present the evidence that shows that the Christian God made us.
You're so colorblind, it's crazy. I'm going to go to the definition of evidence again and see that it's an outward
Please
sign. You
show
explained
us.
evidence. You personally just explained the evidence. The evidence is the outward sign.
There is no
You see what
outward
that
sign
says?
that God is real.
You just stated all of the outward signs. Our existence
What?
itself is the outward sign.
That has nothing to
Because
do
we are
with
not
God.
God. We are not. So hold on. We are not God. So God is its own thing. God is God. We are not God. We are human beings.
Hey,
We are the
messenger, what is
creation.
God? What is the definition of God?
God is the creator.
Okay, show
So you
me
just explained the
that we are
outward signs. You said
creation.
the universe exists.
Show me that we
You
are
said that
creation.
life exists. You
Show
said
me that
we
we are
exist.
creation. Yeah, none of
So
that
once
shows that
again,
God exists.
this is going back to the fact that all things
Messenger,
that
none of
exist
that shows that
in
God
effect.
exists.
Hold on. This is going back to the fact that all things that exist as an effect must have a cause.
Cool.
Stop
Show
being
that
colorblind.
the cause is God.
The cause is God because it must be. It
Okay,
logically has to be.
okay.
It
Okay, all right.
absolutely has
So
to be.
obviously we have a
If,
creator, and that creator is Rick from Rick and Morty, and we are just a universe, a mini universe in a battery
no.
that is making energy for him. It's
Can we
so
go?
obvious, man. Look
Can
at
we go to
the
the
outward statements. We
colorblind
exist. Our
perception?
universe exists. We are made up of energy. Obviously, we are Rick's battery in a car. Oh, it's so obvious, and this
You're
is the
being
evidence.
colorblind.
No, I'm
You're being
showing you that
colorblind.
your logic is stupid.
And
I'm
you're also
sorry.
being a liar. So it's not my logic that's stupid. It's you being colorblind.
It is your logic that's
My
being stupid, and
logic's trash.
I believe that you're better than that, messenger. I believe you can be better
I
than
am.
that.
I'm far
So
better than that.
please
I'm far
show
better
me,
than you too.
how do we know the Christian God is true?
And once again, you're not realizing how colorblind you're being. You're trying to say that blue is orange. It's not orange. It's very simple.
How do we know the
We
Christian God is
exist,
true?
therefore God exists.
Yeah,
Now,
no, you need to show
once
me.
once again,
You can't just say A and
we
now Z.
exist.
Present
You haven't seen
the
yourself.
points.
You haven't seen yourself?
Present the points. How do we get from there? How
The
do we get from
points
one
are
point to the other?
life exists. The points are animals exist. The point is air exists. The
Hmm.
point is we have the concept of
Yes, I get
feelings,
it.
thoughts,
Things
emotions.
exist.
We're
How does that get us
sentient.
to God is real?
No, things exist. That means that all of these things are in effect. There has to be a
Hmm.
cause.
Okay, and you're
There's no
saying that
such thing as
causes God.
causeless effects.
And you're saying that causes
Yes,
God. Now, please demonstrate that that's real.
been saying it the same. I've all the way given you the effect and explained the cause. You're being colorblind.
Demonstrate you're right that the cause is God.
You are the demonstration.
No, I'm so sorry.
I am the
That's not the case.
demonstration.
Remember, I'm the
That is.
effect. I'm
You
the
can deny.
effect.
Yes,
I
you're the
want the
effect. So what's the
evidence that
cause?
demonstrates
What's the cause?
that I am the effect of God's creation. What is the
Do you not
evidence?
know that you being the effect means that you are the outward sign for the cause, which is God? You're
Show
being
me that the cause
colorblind.
is God. Show me the cause is God.
I've already shown you. I've
No,
given
you
you the outward
haven't. You've
sign.
just
You
said
are
it.
the outward sign. You are the
You've just
indication.
said it.
I am the indication. Yes, I said it now. Now hold on. Wait, let's go by that.
Messenger,
Let's go by
you and
that.
I are the
Hold on.
outward sign that we are making
Hold on.
energy for Rick in a battery.
No. I
You,
said it.
we
I said it.
exist. The
Right now,
universe
hold on.
exists.
Let's look at the proof.
We
Hold on.
exist,
Let's
and so
examine the
therefore,
proof. Hold
that
on.
is the evidence
Hold
that
on.
Rick made us.
Yes, that's the stance. That's the stance. That's the stance that I'm taking. But I'm not lying by saying Rick.
That's
I'm
the
saying
stance you're
God.
taking. That's
Now,
the stance you're
no,
taking,
that's
and
the
it's
stance that you're
stupid.
taking. But let's look at it. Let's look at it. Your stance is stupid because you're
Yes.
making up
Tell
something
me why
having to
my
do with
stance
a
is stupid.
cartoon. And this is the reason why. Your process or your instance of establishing the
Thank you,
validity of
Crystal.
your statement, especially by derivation from other statements, do not accord with principles of reason.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the definition of proof again. Your statements do not accord with principles of reason. You're saying something stupid about Rick and
Yes.
Morty. We all know that's
Messenger, please.
not an all-powerful creator
Listen
God.
to my next statement very carefully. The reason why my logic did not fit this is because my logic is echoing yours. I was making fun of your logic.
No,
You
the
are
hell it's
admitting
not.
that
Because
your
I'm not saying
logic
something stupid
fails.
about cartoons, bro.
You are
So
admitting that
stop.
your logic
You
fails.
couldn't echo me
Okay,
if you
messenger,
couldn't echo
messenger.
me if you were in Carl's Batcave.
Let me lay this out very simply. You're saying God exists. God exists because we are the outward example, or we are the example. We exist. The universe exists, and then you exist. Animals exist. Plants exist. All of that shows that we are the effect of God's creation. I am saying
Yes.
that that is the same logic as saying we exist, animals exist, plants exist, all of this exists. Therefore, we are the effect that clearly shows Rick made us to be an
No.
energy battery for his car. It is the
No. That's
same
called a
logic.
lie.
It is the
No,
same
that's called
logic.
a
And
lie.
the fact that
That's
you
called
can't
a
see that,
lie.
the fact that you can't see that either shows that you're the one being a liar or that you seriously need to go and take a look at what you
No,
just
that's
said.
called a
And I really
lie.
hope that you
What you're doing is you're trying to reason in your head an excuse to say that God does not exist.
Oh,
That's not
Messenger, you're
reasonable.
wrong. I would love for there to be God or gods. I would love for the
Already
supernatural to be
is
real. I
a
would
God
love for that
because
to
you
be real.
exist.
But what I want doesn't matter. I want to know what the
Yes, I
truth is.
agree. What
What
you
is the
want does
truth?
not matter.
What is the
I've already
truth?
told you the truth, and you're constantly disregarding it.
That
You're
you
not
need to
using the
show
proper
me that it's the
definition of the
truth.
word. I
Show me
already
that it's
showed
the
you.
truth.
I showed you by definition. I
You did
showed you
not.
with example. I've given you reason. I've given you logic, and you keep saying stupid crap in return.
Messenger, you've given me logic that once I put it into a very simple cartoon and shows how stupid it is, you're
Yeah,
all
but
like,
what
"Oh
you're
no,
not
no."
doing is you're not accepting reality. You keep putting stupid stuff in this
You
stupid
haven't
cartoon,
given me
not accepting
anything
reality.
about reality. You don't even know what the Big
You're
Bang
not
Theory is.
accepting. I've already told you what reality has to offer you, me, air, water, feelings, emotions.
You
I've
don't
given you
even know what the
reality, and you
Big
keep
Bang
talking about some
Theory
stupid
is.
cartoons, bro. I told you what the Big Bang Theory is, and I
No, you
told you it's
didn't.
non-existent. It was created by
You
man,
don't know what
and
the
you
Big Bang
cannot
Theory is.
present it
You failed to
reasonably.
present evidence the Christian God is true. You have failed to present evidence that we are a
You
creation.
fail to use the definition of evidence properly. Stop misusing that word. You're just
You
making yourself look ignorant. I showed you the
actually
definition
no.
twice already.
Yeah, and
I've
actually,
given
like I
you
said,
outward signs twice already.
what you gave
I'm giving you outward
is the
signs
dumb
twice already.
version of what I said. Go to the Oxford Dictionary.
No, it's
I dare
not.
you.
No,
I
what you
dare you.
said is the dumb version of what you said.
I dare you to go to the Oxford
What
Dictionary.
you said is the dumb version
I
of
will.
what you said.
Messenger. I'll just go to the Oxford Dictionary and I'll make a video for you showing the definitions if you're going to be too lazy to do it.
Pull up the Oxford right now. That's why I wanted you to pull up the Oxford right now, so you won't have a chance to
Oh,
deny
I'm
it,
sorry.
even
I'm
though
on
I
my
put it
phone
in.
right now and I can't pull it up if I'm the one hosting the live. But hey, you know what? Hey, if one of
Hold on,
my
I'll pull
friends
it up
down
for you.
here, if one of you guys would like to screenshot the Oxford definitions for evidence and proof and then come up here and show it to us, I'll let you up because Messenger clearly is too scared to do it.
You wouldn't have even mentioned Oxford if I hadn't. So stop using that as a haha gotcha moment.
Well,
That I
actually, no.
would have.
I use Oxford. I would have brought it up anyway, but I brought it up very specifically because you mentioned Oxford, and then I found it very convenient that you were suddenly like, "Oh no, not Oxford, Merriam-Webster."
I don't know. You didn't say not Oxford. I told you to pull it up. I never said not Oxford, so stop putting words in my mouth.
I'll play it back. So don't worry, I'll put the live on YouTube. You can watch it. You can see how you messed up.
Yes. Never hear me say not Oxford. So you need to either pay attention to what you're saying, or you need to pay attention to what other people are saying, so you won't say something that they said incorrectly.
Yeah, you gave me the not Oxford
One of the two.
dictionary in the beginning. You gave me the Merriam-Webster one, right?
I gave you
And I'm
the.
telling you to go to the Oxford.
I told you that, and I told you to pull up the Oxford first before you even mentioned anything. I
Yes, and I
specifically
can't.
stated,
And
"Hey,
I
I'm
told you
going
I
to the
can't do
Merriam."
that, and I can't do that when I'm hosting the live. But if someone else would like to bring up the screenshots for it from the Oxford, I'd be down for that. But I'm still waiting for the evidence that the Christian God exists, or that we are a
Yeah,
creation, or anything of the sort.
pulling up. I already gave you the evidence. You're just denying it. You're just being willfully ignorant.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm pulling up the Oxford Dictionary.
Hey, listen.
Do you have the definitions for
The
the
Oxford.
Oxford?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All right, cool. Hi, Spy. Available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. So I was accurate when I said that evidence is a collection of data or facts indicating whether a proposition or a claim is true or not. Can you show us the definition for proof?
Oh, me?
Yes, please.
All right, give me.
Thank you. All right, so I was right about the definition for evidence. Did you see that, Messenger?
Not quite.
Not quite.
You said
What did I
something
get wrong?
about you said something about facts and data.
Yeah,
I remember that you said something about facts and data. I remember you specifically saying something like that.
then evidence or argument establishing or helping to establish the fact or truth of a statement. So again, proof is the evidence as a whole. Again, I was correct, Messenger. Kanye's mental state. Thank you. I appreciate you and your time and helping show Messenger that he was wrong.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I was wrong. So hold on.
It was my delay.
Right now.
So, Messenger, can you present to me any evidence or proof, either or, that the Christian God exists? And I
I've
got
already
about 10
presented
minutes
to you
left,
evidence.
so you
I've
haven't.
already presented.
All you said is that we exist, the universe exists,
Stop
therefore
being willfully ignorant. That is evidence right there. You're stating my evidence. You just steel manned
we
my evidence.
exist, the
Stop
universe
being
exists,
ignorant.
therefore Rick exists and created us.
No, what you're
It's the
doing
same
is
evidence.
you're straw manning my argument after you steel man it. Stop being ignorant, bro.
I'm so
Stop
sorry. You need a
that.
better
That's
argument.
immature.
You need a better
That's
argument
immature.
because yours
No,
is
that's the
trash.
thing. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. The
Yeah, I know.
objective truth of
It
things
doesn't.
does
It
not
doesn't matter
matter how
that
you
you
feel about it.
feel that God must be the cause. You need to
No,
show
no,
the
no. It
truth
doesn't
of your
matter that
claim.
you feel that we somehow came from nothing and you
I
can't
don't.
explain it and you
That
don't
is
want it
not
to
my
be God.
claim, and that's not what I think. So stop
No,
lying
I'm doing the
about
same
what I
exact thing
said
you're
and what
doing
I
when
think.
you say some stupid crap about me talking about Rick and Morty. That's
I'm
not what
so
I'm
sorry
saying.
that you
You're doing the
can't
same thing
follow a
you're doing.
very. I'm so sorry that you can't follow that. It's really quite
No,
embarrassing
I
for you.
follow it. I follow how stupid it is when you bring that up. And I
It
got the
is stupid. I
definition
agree
right
with you
now.
that it's stupid. So
When you
why are
bring
you
that up,
using that
when you
logic?
bring that up, it's
Yeah, so
stupid
why are
when
you
you
using
bring that
stupid
up. My
logic?
logic is sound.
No, it's
My
not.
logic is sound. Your logic is stupid. My logic is
Messenger.
sound. You keep talking about some stupid Rick and Morty. My logic is very simple. I talk about reality. I talk about the
Okay.
concept and the understanding of
Do you
reality and
believe the
present
Bible is
reality
true?
itself.
Do you believe the
Of
Bible is
course.
true? Do you believe it's like 100% accurate, or do you think like maybe the people may have gotten some things wrong that wrote it? Or
So let's go back to the definition so you can understand why you're being ignorant. So this is the Oxford Dictionary now. It says
amazing.
the available body of facts, and I'm going to go off of this as I explain again the same thing that I've already presented, my stance. The available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or a proposition is true or valid.
Literally
In the
what I
law,
said.
that wasn't literally what you said. You said something about facts and data. So in the law, it states that information drawn from personal testimony, a document, or a material object used to establish facts in a legal investigation or admissible as testimony in a law court. It says signs or indications of something. So the same definition that was in the Merriam-Webster's, that was the initial definition for the Merriam-Webster's, is the tritiary. No, I said that wrong. The third definition for the Oxfords. This is the same definition. It's an outward indication. This says signs or indications of something is evidence. It says be or show evidence of the quality of the bracelet. So that's the verb part of it. Be or show evidence of. So like evidentiary. as far as, but once again, going with this part of definition, signs or indications
No,
of
no, no, no. I'm
something.
so sorry that you want to cherry pick a very specific portion. I'm going with the actual full definition, which is basically
The full
the
definition is everything right here. So don't say stupid
yes,
stuff on live,
yes.
bro.
So again,
The whole
evidence
entire definition is all
is
of
what
these
you can
things.
present to
But
show that the claim is
the part
true.
of speech for specific words have part of application for specific purposes. So
Evidence
stop saying stupid
is
stuff,
what
bro.
you can present to show if your claim is true or not. Now, what can
Yes.
you show? Now, what can you present to show that the Christian
Indication.
God is true?
But what I can present and show as a sign and indication is life itself.
Okay,
Being the
how?
creation, a creator. That follows logically and it tracks. Now I'm going to look up the definition of proof for you in the Oxford
Hold on.
because you
Okay,
still
so life and creation. Okay, these are your 2 points.
are
Got it.
evident. Are
How
a
do we know?
sign.
How do we know that life, or how do we know that we're creation and that our life only exists because of God?
Because we are a existence. Existences don't happen with the cause of existences.
But
Without the cause of existences.
that's great. But again, it's just making me word the same question a different way. Show that God is the cause.
And it's making me answer the same question with the same correct answer while you're still disregarding the answer itself as proof. So this is the definition of proof. It says evidence, which is an outward indication, a sign or an indication, or argument establishing a fact. Life is a fact, or the truth of a statement. This is proof. So the things that I have stated are true because cause equals effect and effect equals cause indefinitely. There is not one single time in life itself that there is no cause for an effect. There's not one single time that there is no effect for a cause. We are the effect. There must be a cause. It's not an accident. Once again, something does not come from nothing.
I agree.
Once again, something does not come from nothing. So that means there was something that we came from, since we're something.
Cool.
That something is God.
Okay, show that. Show the evidence.
I already showed it. I've showed it literally in my explanation just now. Stop using evidence incorrectly.
You and I agree on all of this information.
I gave a sign or indication of our life.
And then you gave the claim.
I gave a sign or indication of our life.
The cause. Now,
I gave a sign or indication
for this claim.
Evidence is the sign or indication. I gave that. Okay, life is the sign or indication of God.
Do we have that God exists?
Life.
How is that a sign of God?
Life itself. It is an indication.
How?
Does life exist?
Yeah. How does that show God exists?
Can something exist as a cause of nothing? As an effect of nothing?
I don't think so.
No. So that means something caused us.
Cool. And you're saying the cause is God. Show me that that's true.
That something is God. Finishing the equation of that something caused us. Because we're true. Stop being ignorant, bro. We're true, so God must be true. Stop being ignorant. You're being willfully ignorant, bro.
Again, you're giving me the same. You're giving me the same Rick and Morty logic.
No, I'm not. Stop bringing up a stupid cartoon.
Then give me something serious to work with. Then give me something serious to work with.
I've given you something serious. I've given you something extremely simple.
You've given me silly.
It's not complicated, bro. Logic. No, you're brain rot because you seem to think that there's such a thing as effect without cause.
I'm sorry. Everything
that I have
said has agreed with you. So I'm sorry that you're lying again. How many lies have you said on this line?
I'm not lying.
It's been
okay, so
7,
since I'm lying,
8?
Explain to me how there can be an effect without a cause. Explain to me
I have
right
never
now.
made that claim.
Don't
and I've actually agreed with you that I do not think that. I do not hold that position. So why are you trying to force me to hold a position that I do not claim?
Hold that position and stop holding the position that we got here on accident and causelessly.
I
Stop
never
holding that
said
position that we
that.
got here
I
on
never
accident
said that.
uncauselably.
So
Stop trying to
again,
replace God.
bro, I
You're
never said
literally
that.
saying that right now. Okay,
I
then
ne-
explain to me.
I never said that. So stop making up lies, bro. Now listen, we can
Me,
either
what
finish
effect
now.
you
Now
indirectly
listen,
said that.
listen, messenger. I'll give you a
What
choice. We can
effect
either
exist
finish up the
without cause?
conversation here because clearly you're not going to give up your brain rot, childish logic, or we can move on to
No, my logic is
the
not
next thing that I
childish. You
wanted to
just
bring
don't
up.
want to
Do you believe that
admit
the
that
Bible
God
is
exists.
100% true?
And yes, I do believe the Bible is 100% true.
Okay. Why did your God allow things like grape and slavery? Like
The same reason why he
why is your
allows
God
people like
really
you to say
impartial?
stupid things like he doesn't exist.
I'm so sorry
So the
that
same reason why he
no
allows
no
stupid
wait
people
what?
to no,
I'm
hold on,
sorry.
hold on, hold
Do
on.
you
You're interrupting the
wait
answer. You're
messenger?
interrupting the answer.
Do you think that
You're
me
interrupting
saying
the
I don't
answer.
know if God exists or not is as bad as raping or enslaving someone?
Of course. Of
Why?
course. Absolutely.
How is that anywhere near as bad as
Why?
those two
Because it's
things?
stupid. And you cause other people to be stupid because you want other people to have the lack of comprehension skills that you do. It's the same exact thing. It's called a lie, sir. All sin is the same.
How
So
so
you
me saying
lying
I don't
and
know
trying
if
to
God is real
disprove
or
God
not is just as
or
bad as me
discrediting God
as saying
or
something.
disregarding. No, it's
Messenger,
not that you
messenger.
don't know because you've been presented with the knowledge.
Messenger.
You deny the
Me
knowledge.
saying I
You
don't know
know.
if God exists or not is just as bad as me as saying
You
someone.
know.
Is that really your position?
So, so do we have to go over the definition of knowledge now
Is
too?
that your position? Yes or no?
Stop using the word know incorrectly. And yes, that is my position. It's the same thing.
Oh,
It's just as bad.
how is it the
I
same
said
thing?
that
It's not at all the
times
same
already.
thing. Violating
How is
somebody's
it the same thing?
body
Because a lie is a sin.
violating someone's body in a way that is
Yes.
so horrible, as
Horrible.
opposed to
Absolutely
just saying,
horrible.
"Hey, I'm not convinced that your God is real." That those are not at all the same thing.
Same thing. Still sin.
Okay, so
A lie is a lie just like rape is wrong.
when your God had the grape of women be part of his judgment, his curse, that's a sin. Your God sinned.
Nobody said that God had grape of women be involved in a judgment. Nobody
Yes, he
said that
did. Oh,
ever.
the Bible did.
When did it say that?
Yeah, in
Allow me to embarrass you.
First
And
Samuel, I
please show a
believe,
verse.
chapter 12. Yes, I'm pulling it up right now. Don't you worry.
I'll pull it up. First Samuel 12 and what?
Flipping to there right now. I believe it's in Second Samuel
First Samuel
12.
12 and what?
I'll get you the verse. Don't worry. Okay, it's Second Samuel chapter 12, and we're
Okay,
starting.
Second Samuel chapter 12 and what?
Yeah, and we're starting specifically in verse 10. Now, the context is this is. Do you remember the story of David and Bathsheba?
Just read it. I don't want to hear context. Just read it.
You don't want to hear context? All
Read
right,
it.
fine.
I want to hear what it actually
Now
says, not what you
therefore the
think it
sword
says.
shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus says the Lord, Behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes, and I will give them to your neighbor, and he will lie with your wives in the sight of the sun. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing for all Israel before the sun. And if you read a little
Okay,
bit
that's Second
further,
Samuel
you'll
what?
see that he also adds the infant that he was just born to him dies as well. So we see
That's
that
Second Samuel
God,
what?
in his 2 Samuel chapter 12, starting in verse 10 to 15, this is the
Second
prophet
Samuel
telling
12.
David the judgment of God, which is that his wives are going to get assaulted by the evil brought up from his own house, which we find out just a few chapters later. It's his son that ends up assaulting his father's wives in front of all of Israel. And we see that God unalived his infant son. So we see that
Okay,
God
so
has the essay of women and the infanticide as judgments. So yeah, we see that the Bible is saying God is the one who wanted this and had this happen.
so you're putting a whole bunch of extra words to what's actually going on in being said. So I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
It says, "Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house,
Mm-hmm.
because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Thus says Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house,
Mm-hmm.
and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them unto your neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this sun. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. And Nathan said unto David, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh also has put away your sin. You shall not die. Howbeit, because by this deed you have greatly blasphemed the enemies of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the child also that is born unto you shall surely die. So, addressing your 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
that the judgment of God is essay. That's not a judgment of God. The judgment of God specifically was to raise up evil. That was his judgment.
And what was the
So
evil going to do?
an indirect effect of his judgment is indirectly. It's not like he specifically made somebody to go and essay somebody.
He
That's not
said,
what's being
I
said.
will raise up evil. I will take your wives.
Yes, I will raise up
So
evil.
this is what God
I will
wanted
take your
to have
wives.
happened. This is what God wanted to have
So
happened.
having well, it's not what he wanted to have happen. It's
Yes,
a
this was
indirect effect of
what.
something that
No,
hold
this
on.
was his
It's an
curse.
indirect hold on. It's an indirect effect of actually it's a direct effect to what David specifically did, which was David slept with Uriah's wife and then had him unalived.
He essayed
So it's
his
what a
wife.
man. Yes. Well, no, he didn't essay her.
Yes, he did.
They just they committed adultery.
No, she was just
So
a
he
regular
didn't do it
woman, and he
forcefully.
was a king. You don't say no to a king. He took her. That we
Well, yeah, I mean,
if we put
that's
that
not
into
essay though.
modern terms,
No,
we would
hold on, hold on,
understand
hold on,
the
hold
abuse
on,
of
hold
power
on,
in that situation.
hold on,
This
hold
was
on,
definitely
hold on,
assaulting her.
hold on,
You don't say no to the
hold
king.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stop, because you really do have a extremely colorblind view on reality. She could have said no. David wasn't the type of person to just unalive somebody because she said no.
I'm
We've never
sorry,
seen
what?
that from David.
David was a
I'm sorry,
murderer.
what?
He was a rapist. He
Okay,
was
yeah, hold on,
so
wait,
wild,
hold on. Those
man.
words that you're saying, bro, those words that you're saying are not TikTok friendly, bro. You gotta control yourself with
What
those
about
words. I don't want
Abigail?
to
What
get that.
about Abigail? I'm so sorry that you're scared of reality. This is what David was.
I'm not scared of reality. I'm not scared of
So
reality. What about
yes,
Abigail?
David did not care about Bathsheba's consent.
What
He
about
just wanted
Abigail?
her and he
Did,
took her. Yeah,
did he
yeah.
unalive Abigail?
Okay, yeah. Think about it. So Abigail went to him
Did he unalive Abigail?
begging for her life, begging for her husband's life, begging for mercy, and David was so moved by her willingness and her boldness that he ended up murdering her husband anyway and taking her as a wife. Wow, crazy.
Did
That's
he
psychotic.
unalive Abigail? That
No,
was
he
my
just took.
question.
No, he just
Did he
unalived
unalive
her
Abigail? Was
husband.
my question.
No, he took her as a wife after he went ahead and just ignored what
Okay,
she
exactly
begged
my
for.
point. So going back to my initial point, in case you forgot what I said,
I like how you just
he is
tried to
not the
brush
type of
over it.
person to just be unalive. No, stop,
He is the
because
type of
you
person
like
to not care
to
about
you're
women.
so colorblind towards reality.
He's the kind of person to feel
That's
that
not
he's
what I
entitled.
said. That's not what I said. That's
That's
not
what
what I
I'm
said.
saying.
That's not what
That's
I
what
said.
I'm
So going
saying.
back to my initial point, I don't care what you're saying. I made the initial point. Okay. Going back to
Oh,
my initial point, he is not the type of person to unalive somebody because she says no. That was what I initially said. Okay. We've never seen that presented. So stop trying to come with a poor excuse of something that
but we
doesn't
see
match what I
multiple
specifically
examples
said.
of the Bible not caring about women's consent and how ancient Hebrew law biblically does not care about women's consent. That David felt that
That's
it was
your
his right.
colorblind perception.
So, no, it's the law that
That's
he's
your
given.
colorblind perception.
It's the laws that he's
That's
given.
your colorblind perception. Nowhere in the
Can you
law does
give
it say
me
that you can't say no to a
any
king.
law that recognizes and respects the woman's consent?
Can you give me a law that says you can't say no to a king, which is basically what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I can give you a whole bunch of historical context that shows that that is how
No,
things go,
no,
the
I'm talking about
consequences that go
outside. I'm
for it,
talking
as
about in the
well as
Bible. I'm
we
not talking about
understand
outside
the
of it.
abuse of
No,
power
I'm not talking about
that comes with
your
when there
mastery
is
of
a
making
king.
excuses.
And I'm so sorry that you're scared of
I'm not
reality.
talking about your mastery
So
of
we
making
can
excuses. No, it's not about
so I can
reality.
show
I'm
passages
talking about
that
show
talk
me in the
about
Bible.
men taking women and not caring about their consent and how their consent means nothing.
Okay,
So can you
was
show
that
me a
something that
single
God
law?
ordered? Because
So can you show? Yes,
you're talking about
yes, the
law.
law is from God. The law is
No,
from
the law is
God.
not from God to be inconsiderate to women. The law is not from God, so stop lying. Show me the law in the Bible that's from God.
The,
Show me the law.
I'm
If not,
sorry.
stop making
Do you
stuff
think
up.
that the
Make stuff up.
law? Do you think that the Mosaic law isn't from God?
Does the Mosaic law say to violate women?
The Mosaic law doesn't care about women. It lets men just take
Does
them
the Mosaic law
or
say to
pay for them.
violate women? Yes or no? Does the Mosaic law say to violate women? Yes or no?
Yes, they call it paying or taking,
No,
but
it
yes,
doesn't.
yes.
No, it doesn't. It
Yes,
does not say to violate women.
it
Find me a
allows them
verse.
to take it allows them to
Find me
take
a
female
verse.
prisoners of war. It allows them to take
Find me a
female
verse.
prisoners of war, strip them of their identity
Find
and
me a
their
verse.
culture, and then isolate them for
Find
30
me a
days until
verse.
they get to go in and assault
Find
them.
me a verse. Find me a verse. Because you're just talking, running your mouth. Find me a verse. That the
I'm,
Mosaic law,
have you
you
ever
know what
read
the
the
Mosaic
Bible?
law is, right?
Have you ever read the
I've
Bible?
read the Bible. Do you know where the Mosaic law is?
Yeah, it's the law that was given to the Israel people during the wandering
Where
in
is
the
that?
desert
Where is
during
that?
Moses.
Where is that? Where is that?
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
No, there's one specific place where the Mosaic law is at. It's in one book. Where is it?
It's spread throughout. You can find the Mosaic law spread
No, it's
throughout
not.
Exodus.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Where is it?
It's
Where
one
is it?
specific place in one book.
Where is it?
It's in
It's
Leviticus.
a yeah. Is
The
it?
Mosaic law is the Levitical law given in the book of Leviticus.
So you want to
Okay?
ignore all the other
So
laws that are
anything,
given by God?
no, but that's not law. You keep making stuff up. You think just because it happens in the Bible, it's law. That's not how that works.
So
The
when
laws and the
God is giving the
commandments
rules on how His people ought live, that's not the law.
is in Leviticus. It's specifically in Leviticus.
What
Anything
text?
other than Leviticus is example all throughout Leviticus.
So you don't count the Ten
Multiple
Commandments.
chapters in Leviticus.
So you don't count the Ten
The Ten
Commandments.
Commandments are also in Leviticus. The law itself is in Leviticus. Ten Commandments are other places in the Bible too. But it's also there.
The second
So
set
what
of
you need to stop doing
the
is
second
making
set of
stuff
Ten
up based off
Commandments
how
are
you
in
feel.
Leviticus, but I don't think the first set of the Ten Commandments are in Leviticus. That's in
There's only
Exodus.
one set of Ten Commandments. There's only one.
There's two.
There's only one set of Ten Commandments. There's 10 of them. They're
Okay,
in multiple places in the
you
Bible,
clearly
but
haven't
there's
read
10
your
of them. There's
Bible.
one set. I've read the Bible. What you're doing is you're describing based off of how you feel, not
So the
what
verse that you
actually
asked
is.
for in Deuteronomy 21, starting in verse 10, when you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God gives them into your hand, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire to take her to your wife, you shall bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall take off her clothes in which she was captured, and shall remain in your house, and lament her father and mother for a full month. After that you may go into her to be her husband, and she shall be your wife. But if you no longer delight in her, you shall let her go wherever she wants, but you shall not sell her for money, nor shall you treat her as a slave, since you have humiliated her. So we see that the Mosaic law allows the men to take
That's
female
not Mosaic law.
POWs, hold on, to take female POWs
That's not Mosaic
and
law.
then take them
That's correction number one.
hold on, and then take them back to Israel, strip them of their identity and their culture by shaving their head and paring their nails, isolating them for a month, and then going into them and making them their quote unquote wife. And then if you decide that, hey, you no longer want her
The
anymore,
quote unquote
you can
either.
just throw her out in the street. And it doesn't matter because you can't sell her because she quote unquote has no more value because you've humiliated her. Because in this law, women's virginity had to do with their
That's
value,
not a
and this
law,
had
dude.
no value.
That's not a law, dude.
This
That's
is
not a
this
law.
is this is God allowing
Okay.
His people to act in such a way. So I'm asking you,
And
why would your
allowance,
God
an allowance is not a law.
allow His people to assault women in such a manner?
So that's not assault. Okay,
It's
when
not
you
assault
take
to it's not assault to kidnap a
Stop
woman
talking and
and take
listen.
her to
Stop
your
talking and
home.
listen. Stop talking and listen. Stop talking and listen. Okay, stop interrupting when you ask a question and it's being answered, because you're the one that has a lack of understanding. You need to
Well,
learn
I'm
how to
trying to
listen when someone
clarify.
is speaking.
I'm so sorry
You're
that
not
clarifying is
clarifying
scary for
anything.
you.
So someone else needs to clarify for you. I already heard everything you said.
So how is it not
That's not a
assault to
law.
kidnap a woman and take
One,
her?
one, number one, that's not a law. Okay. Number one, nowhere at all is that even near the book of Leviticus. It's in Deuteronomy. Okay. That's not a law. The law comes from Leviticus. So stop talking about other stuff in the Bible being law.
How is this
Even
not
if
assaulting
God said
women?
it's okay.
How
So
is this
it's
not
not
assaulting
assaulting women
women?
because there's a specific, because, okay, now stop asking the same question over and over. It's not assaulting women because there's a specific amount of order that has to go with the entire process. You can't just go get a female and start, having sexual intercourse with her. You have to go do this, do that, do that. She got to shave her head. It got to be a whole entire month. You got a whole bunch of stuff that you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, you can't even have sex with her until after that entire month of her doing stuff. Now, if you decide, this is what's happening. If you decide to not want to be with her before you have sex, after that, after the month, well, in between the month of, basically, I'll call it initiation, and before you have sex, you can get rid of her. You can't get rid of her afterwards.
Yes, you
Okay?
can. It says when you
So
no
the
longer
humiliation,
delight in
whether
her,
you want to call that,
you
it's not
shall let her
humiliation.
go.
Yes, that's in a month's process.
No,
That's in that month's
this is
process,
after
whether or
you
not
go
you
in and
realize it.
no, because if you read it, it says
No.
after the month, then you may go in and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. But if you no longer delight in her,
Yes,
then you shall
that's
let her go.
including that
And
month's
why?
process.
Why? Nor shall you treat her
It
as a
says
slave,
so read that in English.
since you have humiliated her.
So
So
read that
after
in
the month
English.
is up, you can go in,
Hold
have
on,
sex
hold
with
on,
her,
hold
and then
on,
when you no
hold on.
longer want to have sex with her anymore, you can kick her out.
No, that's not what that's saying. No, that's not what that's saying. So let me go to the verse and read it, because you got a poor comprehension. What's the verse again? Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy 21:10 through 14.
21:10.
And so are you saying that as long as you got some weird little month-long ritual, then it's not then what you're doing to women is an assault?
So in order for it to be assault by modern standard, you have to have forced a person to do something.
Yeah, kidnapping a
This
woman
specific
and then
situation,
stripping her of
this
her
specific
identity and her
situation,
culture and then isolating her
this
for a month.
specific
Which
situation,
do you know why she was
this
isolated for a month?
specific situation is order of coercion.
Do you know why she was
This
isolated
specific
for a month?
situation is order of coercion.
Do you know
Nowhere
why
in
she
there
was
was it
isolated
like
for a
you
month?
forcefully kept this person. You're ignoring what's being
She's a
said.
captive.
Stop interrupting.
She is a POW.
Okay, well, guess what? There's a order to even being captive.
So you're saying that this woman consented to being a captive and consented to being this man's wife? Is that really what you're saying?
My bad, I disconnected.
No,
Um,
you're fine. Are you saying that she consented to being a captive and consented to being his wife?
no, she didn't consent to be
Okay,
captive.
perfect. So there
But
we go.
it's not
She is a
force, it's
captive.
coercion. There's a difference.
She is
There's a
a
difference. It's
captive,
not force, it's coercion.
and all that is needed, according to God, is if he gives you these captives and you see a woman that you think is pretty and you want to make her
What was
your
it? It
wife,
was
that's all that's
You
needed.
want
You
what?
don't have to court her. You don't have to ask her consent. You
That
don't
is
need
the
her to be
courting
willing.
process.
You just
That
have
is
to
the
look
courting
at her and be
process.
like, hey, I want that, and you take her home with you.
That's the courting process there, and it
That
involves a month. So
kidnapping is not
what's the verse?
courting.
21, and it's not kidnapping because there was war. It was a prisoner of war.
She is a captive,
Yeah, it's a prisoner of
and
war,
she is
bro.
being taken
You could
from her
either have left her
homeland.
in the street where she was at, or you could have took her with you. It's a
They
prisoner
should
of
have
war,
left
bro.
her.
It's
They
war.
should have left her.
Okay, well then she probably would end up dead. At least she has somebody to be with.
They should have given her provisions and then
No,
left her.
no, that's not how war works.
I'm sorry that
You don't get
but I'm
the
sorry,
happy
but
bright
is
sunshine
this not
field of tulips
is this
in
not the
war. It's war,
nation? Is
bro.
this not the nation that is led by a good and just God who doesn't wish
If it's
oppression on the innocent?
war, it's war, bro. So stop
Oh,
making up
okay,
excuses just to be convenient for your
God can do
colorblind list.
atrocities in war and it's okay. That's why he can kill kids and all that.
Stop making up excuses for your colorblindness. It's
No,
war.
I'm bringing up the Bible and I'm sorry that you can't keep up with it.
No, I
It's
can keep up. It's just that you
so
can't keep up with the
a
simple fact
good
that you
and
want
just
war to be
God
sunshine and daisies.
is the biblical God good and just and doesn't want oppression for the innocent.
You said doesn't want oppression for the innocent? Of course.
Then
So
why
what was
is
the
he
verse again?
allowing his
What was the
people
verse
to
again?
oppress the innocent women?
You are oppressive literally right now. You oppress innocent people all of the time by
How,
lying to them and trying to convince them that God doesn't exist. You're more oppressive than anybody
I'm
who's a
not trying to
rapist.
convince people that
Oh,
God
yes,
doesn't
you are.
exist.
Yes,
No,
you
I'm
are.
not.
Because if you didn't, then you wouldn't have that stance. You're just as
I
oppressive
don't have
as
that
anybody
stance,
else. Yes,
messenger.
you do.
Messenger. I
Yes, you
don't
do.
have the stance that
You
God
have
doesn't
the stance.
exist.
Yes, you do. You're an
No, I
atheist.
don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't have a belief in any gods. That does not mean that I don't believe gods
That's
don't exist.
so there's you're trying to create this gray area. There's no such thing as a
I'm being
gray area. It's
honest
left or
about my
white.
position, and I'm so sorry that it doesn't
Either
follow
you're
your
for
script.
God or you're against
Messenger.
God. That's not a script. It's just either
I
you're
don't
for
know
God
if
or
there's
you're
a
against God.
God to be for or against.
You
Show me
do
that a God
know.
exists.
You
I
do
don't.
know that
No.
God exists. You just don't accept it, which means you're
Messenger.
against his existence.
You
No,
know that
what's
Rick
the
is
verse?
actually the God of the universe. You
You keep
know
bringing
that
up
Rick
that
is
stupid
real.
crap. That's
You
immature,
know.
bro.
Yeah,
Stop.
because I'm
Not bringing up
showing you
that
that
stupid
you
crap.
saying a thing
No,
doesn't make
what
it
you're
true.
showing me is you're making excuses for God's existence. That's
So
what you're
again,
showing.
how on
So,
earth can
so
you
what's the verse?
say that I've given it to you 3 times? I'm sorry, have you not been paying attention?
No, I haven't.
No, clearly you haven't. You don't understand anything about the Bible.
No, I
Deuteronomy
do.
chapter
I can
21,
be honest.
10 through 14.
Okay, 10 through 14. Okay. So it says, when you go forth to battle against your enemies,
Uh-huh.
and Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, and Elohim delivers them into your hands, and you carry them away captive, and see among the captives a woman of goodly form, and you have a desire unto her, and would take her to you to wife. It doesn't say as a Smex slave. It says as a wife, and there's a
Yeah,
process.
you can call it a wife, but
No,
the
hold
context is
on.
clearly describing sex slavery.
So no, it's not, because if you wife this person, you have to be with this person. You can't just get rid of them.
Literally, you can in
Back
verse
then,
14.
divorce was frowned upon, and the what's the word,
Okay, but you
the
can kick her out
punishment
in
for
verse
divorce.
14.
No, but hold on, that's before you had Smex, so that's before she's your wife
No,
currently.
because at the very end of verse 14 it
But
says, since you have humiliated her, and that
hold on.
means
Yeah,
that they had sex.
I'll read what it actually says here in a second. But hold on.
I dare you to
The
just read
punishment.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna read it. The punishment for adultery, which is divorce,
Read
basically,
the
also involved.
passage. Read the passage.
Listen. I'm gonna read it in a second. Listen. The punishment for adultery or divorce back then was death. So all of the punishments back then were death. So you could be
Uh-huh.
killed for, unalived. F1 in the chat. You could be unalived for committing adultery back then. So to continue reading, it says, then this is 12. It says, then you shall bring her to your home, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in your house, and bewail her father and mother a full month. And after that, you may go in unto her and be her husband. So it's even giving her a chance to mourn her loss. You know what I'm saying? For a whole month, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
She
sorry,
doesn't have to wear. She doesn't have to wear her
you can
clothes.
get over your parents being
Well, hold
murdered
on,
in
hold
30
on,
days?
hold on. I'm explaining. Don't interrupt. So even you can have a time for mourning, and people weren't as weak as they are now. People hella weak now.
Yeah,
They
the
spend years
reason
and
why
stuff
they did the 30
getting
days
over
is
their.
because if she was
So
pregnant with someone else's
back then,
kid, then she would have started showing by then, and they would have known.
no,
That was
you're
to
adding stuff.
ensure that she
You're
wasn't
adding
pregnant.
stuff. You're adding stuff.
No, that's
So back
historical.
then,
That's historical.
no, I'm not talking about historical. I'm talking about the Bible. Okay, so I
Oh,
don't
so
care
you
about
agree the
history.
Bible isn't historical?
I don't know.
Got
I
it.
don't care about your version of history or anything outside of the Bible. The Bible
No,
is history. But I'm
no,
not
it's not.
talking about that history. I'm not talking about your history. whatever you're talking about, whatever you just brought up, your history, whatever you're talking about, I don't care about
The
that.
historical statement I said is factual. You can look it up.
I don't care about that. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's right,
I'm talking about
because
the
you
Bible.
know that your Bible
I'm
doesn't fit
talking about the
historical
Bible. No,
context.
that doesn't specifically equate to what the Bible says. So that's not the reason. Stop making stuff up.
No, this is
Okay.
literally why.
No, I
This
don't
is why.
care about what you're talking about. That's not what it says here in the Bible. So stop making stuff up. Okay? That does not equate. Those two things are not the same. Okay? Two different points in time. Okay? Two different understandings. Two
So
different
go
forms
on,
of knowledge.
read verse 14.
Okay?
Let's finish it up.
So
It
it
shouldn't take this
says,
long to read 4 verses. You can do it.
yeah,
I
but
believe you.
you're making it take long. You want to misunderstand things.
Come on, verse
So
14. Let's go.
14 says, and it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall let her go where she will. But you shall not sell her at all for money. You shall not deal with her as a slave, because you have humbled her. It doesn't say humiliated, and even in the original text,
Yeah,
humiliate
and what
is
does
a
that mean?
modern word. Humbled her means
It
the
means they had
act of
sex.
submission.
It means they had sex.
No, the act of submission.
Yeah, it means they had sex.
No, and you have to stop saying that word, bro. We're on TikTok.
It means they had sex.
Stop saying that word, bro.
Okay, it means they had smacks.
Okay, thank you. Like, come on, bro. Do you want to get banned?
So what you can
know what I'm saying?
see is that he can go in after 30 days and quote unquote be your husband. And if he
And
decides, you know what,
humble
I'm not
here,
into
if we
this,
look in
he can
the
just kick her out because
humble
he
here,
cannot
if we look
sell
in the
her because she has no more value because they have had sex.
no humble here. If we look in the Hebrew, we'll see what it actually means. So hold on, let me pull up the Hebrew. That was 21 and 14.
Yes.
21 and 14. Might take me a little time. I'm going to Bible Hub. Bible Hub.
I don't see how it's not oppression to kidnap a woman and take her back to your
It's
land
not kidnap,
and
bro.
make her
It's a
your
prisoner
wife.
of war. Prisoner of war is not kidnap, bro. You either leave them in the desolation that was caused by the war, because obviously they won, or you take them with you, bro. Like, stop making it something it's not.
They should have given them provisions and should have left.
No, that's not how war freaking works, dude.
A good
You
and
don't
just
give your
God
enemies
should have
provisions.
ensured that the innocents
No,
were protected
no. That's
in
why
no
hell
war.
exists. That's why hell exists, for people who don't get provisions that they had the opportunity to have in life. You don't get provisions for doing the wrong thing, bro. You don't get provisions for being on the wrong side.
What did
That's
the
not how
women
that
do?
works.
I'm sorry. What did the women
You know
do
what the women
besides be
did? Guess
born in the
what?
wrong
Guess what?
place?
Guess
They were
what?
born in the
Guess
wrong
what?
place. Whose fault is
Guilty
that?
by
God's.
association.
That's God's fault for having to be born in the wrong place.
No, that's not God's fault. Guilty by association.
Yeah, God shouldn't have had them be born to those
Guilt by
people that He was
association
going to
is the
judge
same
them.
thing that happens in the court of law. Guilt by association.
No. I can't
Yes,
say
yes, yes.
no.
Guilt by
You
association.
cannot say that God
But
creates everything
stop
and
making
makes
stuff
people
up,
be
bro.
born, and then says, "I'm judging these people. It's their fault
God
because they
doesn't
were
make
born there."
anyone be born. People are born because people make the choice to have children.
Oh,
So stop.
so you
Here's
don't
the
believe
thing.
that? So you don't believe that God forms people in the womb?
If people like you, yeah, of course. He doesn't make
So
them
then,
be
what the
born.
fuck are you talking about?
He doesn't form them in the womb without the interaction of sex between two people.
Oh,
So
okay.
he
Well
doesn't
then,
make them be born.
so who's Jesus' biological father then?
Jesus' biological father is God in heaven, bro, the Holy Spirit.
So the Holy Spirit had sex with Mary?
No, he didn't
I thought you
have to.
just said.
God can
I thought you
literally
just said that God wouldn't
just
be able
like,
to
okay,
form a
so
fetus
let me
without the
ask you a
egg.
stupid question. Since God makes everybody in the womb, does that mean he's having sex with everybody?
No, because
Exactly.
unless
So
he's the
stop saying
biological
stupid
father,
stuff like
but you're
God
the one
has
that
sex
said
with
that he's the
Mary.
biological father of
Yeah,
Jesus.
okay, but that's the same thing as God making everybody in the womb.
So
Stop making
stop saying
stupid
stupid
assumptions.
things. So stop
No,
saying
you're
stupid
saying
things.
stupid things. You just said God has sex with Mary.
No, I
That's the same
asked
thing as
you.
saying
I
since
asked
God
you
forms everybody in the womb, right?
because your
Since God forms
logic
everybody in the womb, right? God
says
forms
that God
everybody
would
in the
not be
womb,
able
right?
to create in the womb
God forms
unless the
everybody
act
in
of
the womb,
sex was
right?
there. Which means that if
No.
you believe that
God forms
God was the
everybody in the womb,
biological
right?
father of Jesus, that means that by your
That's not
logic,
even what
he
I
had to have
said.
had sex with Mary.
I didn't say he doesn't make it except for with the only during the act of sex. I said he doesn't make it without it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, but that's the difference is between I'm saying something very specific and
So
you're
sorry
trying
you
to
can't
equate
follow
it to
your
me
own
saying
logic, my
something
guy.
else.
I'm
No,
so sorry
listen.
you can't follow your own logic.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is
whole
what I'm
life
saying.
has
And
been
be quiet and
embarrassing
don't
for you.
interrupt. Be quiet and don't interrupt. Be quiet and don't
You
interrupt.
got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to
So
ask.
I don't even need 2 minutes.
Okay, good. Go.
God does not, like you said, make people in the womb, because this is what you said. He makes people in the womb, right? But you act as if it can be done without the act of sex. The act
never
of
said
sex
that.
between two people, and that's what I said specifically. I said between two people is the reason why God allows children to be created.
Cool.
The specific
That has
occurrence,
nothing to do with what I said.
the specific occurrence involving Mary was something different.
Okay,
The
but
biological
if you
father,
remember the original thing, no. The original point of this is the guilt by association. You're saying that it is
Yeah,
just
but that has nothing
that
to
the
do with
innocence.
what we're talking about right now, bro.
No, the whole reason why we got onto the Mary thing is because of this point. And I want to get back to the original point. The original point is that you're saying guilt by association, these innocents in the time of war, it's just what happened to them. And I'm saying that if
Yeah,
God
it's
is
guilt by
good and
association.
just, if God is good and just, then he would ensure that the innocent were protected
No.
regardless of
And
whether
I said
war was
no.
happening.
And I said no because
Then God is
there's no
not
such
good
thing
and
as
just.
innocent. Guilt by
God is not good and
association
just.
does not mean innocent.
And who
Guilt by
made them be
association means guilt.
associated with these people? Who had them
He
be
didn't
born
make them
to
do
these people?
anything. Guess what? This is the order of occurrence. God made everything. Things were cool. People started doing stuff wrong. Things begat to be uncool. People continued to do stuff wrong and parted from the people who were doing stuff right. Some people did stuff right. Those people are favored by God, not the people like you who do stuff wrong.
What do I do wrong?
Then guess what? Everybody who does something wrong ends up
What do
associated
I
with
do wrong?
people, and they either cause them to do wrong or they cause them to want to do right more. What you did wrong is you decide to try and be atheist. That's your
I
wrongdoing.
did not make that decision. I actively was
No,
actively fighting
you're
against
making
being
that
atheist.
decision right now. So if you
No,
want to lie and say you
it's
did
not.
make the decision, that's just lying.
Messenger, I did not decide to be an atheist. I did
Yes, you
decide to
did.
be
Yes, you
honest.
did.
I did
You're
decide to be
deciding
honest
to
and
be an
say, I
atheist.
no
You
longer
make that choice.
believe. I no
You
longer
make that
believe in
choice.
God, and so
That is your
therefore that
choice.
means that I'm an
That is your
atheist, and I
choice.
will be honest about it.
That
No,
is your choice.
I do not
That is your
choose
choice.
what I believe.
That is your choice. You
Messenger.
choose your beliefs. Stop lying.
No, we
Stop
do
lying
not
and being
choose our
weak-minded.
beliefs. We believe what
Yes,
we
you
are
do.
convinced is true.
Everybody chooses what to believe.
That's
Stop
not
lying
true.
and being
Sorry.
weak-minded. You're a
No,
liar and you're a weak-minded
you
liar.
can choose to lie about what you're convinced is
You're
true,
lying.
but
You're
we do
lying
not
right now. You're
choose our
literally lying
beliefs.
right now. You choose a belief.
Messenger, it's time for me to go to work. Thank you for your
All right,
time.
take
Maybe we can
care.
talk a different time.
We'll talk later.
All right, it's time for me to go to work. All right, you guys, thank you for spending your time here with us.